The value of everything in game is going down. Hello everybody, welcome to a revelation dissection type video, and I hope you're doing well. So what do I mean by that? Well, the thing is value. Let's face it, if you spend money in the game, you don't spend money on the game, you have to make key decisions on chase meta rewards. The current chase meta rewards at the moment are 7-star shards, well, I'd say tier 6 class catalyst, yes. Tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha have kind of been downgraded, but definitely 7-star shards and tier 6 class catalysts are the current chase rewards or the top of meta that most players want to go for. Yes, there will be people lower than that will be like, well, I actually need other stuff that's kind of my chase meta, and that's fine. But these are the kind of the top things, that, you know, the top chasing things, the number one most spiciest things to go for. But there's always a thing with Marvel Contest of Champions. As I've said the story before, when I first started playing the game, I used to spend, and when I used to do that, 4 stars were the most rarest things to get in game. Then it was 5 stars, then it was 6 stars, and now it's going to be 7 stars. But in a nutshell, that is mobile gaming. That's this just kind of constant chase for stuff, and that's the current and ongoing loot box system with stuff. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to kind of say that without, you know, just repeating myself. That's how mobile games are. You're always going to, especially if you're free to play, you always ended up chasing stuff. You're always trying to like chase the top kind of, inroads. And there's always going to be people that are going to be able to outspend you to get things like the chase items, the chase rewards, get the best loot, the best gear, and be able to go through the paywall, so to speak, to get advantages. But yeah, back in the day, 4 stars were the rarest things, but 4 stars have 0 value in the current meta. You're not exactly going to take a 4-star into the most spiciest of game modes. But in the future, maybe Ascension's going to be that helpful thing that kind of eliminates the problems that players experience with devaluation and depreciation. But until that particular point, we have had a big shift in depreciation and the value of the items that were chase items. Tier 3 alpha, tier 6 basic, relics to some degree, 6-star shards, and so on. And the question may be like, Rich, why is this important? It's incredibly important. It's so important because you may have things like units, which is a free-to-play player, and even if you're spending, you want to get as much value as possible. I know, again, that's a very weird thing to say about a mobile game, but when you buy something, when you purchase something using your free-to-play currency, unit, and spend, you want to make sure that you're getting at the top meta for some of the stuff that you're going out for. And one of the big things that came out from the last week was the Gwempel's Bauble Blowout, because you got access to tier 6 class catalyst fragment crystals. Now, here's the thing. There's not been much in the way of volume available for this. There was like little kind of Peter Patters, little splatters here and there, morsels of these little amounts of tier 6 class catalyst. But as content is being released, Act 8.2, and as there's been other content and things like EOP. EOP was kind of more of a permanent kind of chase content, which Kabam dubbed it, but there is and has been very little in volume that's been released by Kabam. This is all changing, and the same thing is for 7-star shards as well. And this really comes with good news, bad news. There is kind of this blinkered sense of ignorance as to like, well, what's it going to do for the ecosystem of the game? With having so much more tier 6 class catalysts in it? Is it a case that it just bumps up prestige and spenders are able to, as well as doing content and as well as spending in things like Bauble Blowout and what will happen in July 4th, there may be more of a larger divide in the player base. If you don't spend, you may feel lost behind everything, and catching up is going to take a long time. But you will at some stage. Until then, Kabam does the same thing and we expand against the stuff. But devaluation, to the point. What has happened? What's happened with depreciation? Well, 6-star shards, as Kabam said, there's going to be more plentiful options. If you go to Battlegrounds and the side quest this month, you can see there's been a bump up. That is a lot more than there was in previous months, where in January there was 29,500 6-star shards available, and in May there is 45,500. The same thing can be said with 5 stars, but the thing is, having access to these 6-star shards as well as some other kind of chase items is now going down the pecking order. So if you're going into the likes of Threat 2, for example, Threat Level 2, Threat Level 3, you'll gain access to things that were behind Threat Level 5 at one stage and Threat Level 4 respectively. So that is really good news for some players, but at the same time, if you had spent a lot of money on accessing things like Tier 5 class catalysts over the years, you'll probably feel that, hey, well, nowadays you can get, or in ongoing, May you can get 3 full Tier 5 class catalysts, and in January you were only able to access at least 1 full Tier 5 class catalyst and 50% of a selector. But that's like nearly 2 more Tier 5 CC, and I'm sure it will increase. And that is pretty good, but at the same time, if you spent on these particular things in the past, this is definitely devaluing. You might be wondering, should I really care? Well, not particularly, but here's the thing. Making key choices for the future when it comes to like preparation for stuff is really important. I like a good July 4th deal and Cyber Weekend deal. I may not have the amount of units I require by that time, but I'll give it a good go and see what's available. But choice is very important. And choice is really important when it comes to like, well, the value of bundles for things is gonna go down. You've already seen like 5-star relics, and the kind of like value of getting them has gone down quite a bit. It went down in Cyber Weekend, and it looks like it's definitely gone down for the Bauble Blowout, where you could just get like there for free effectively, or just a bit above free, I should say. You could get a fully formed 5-star relic, and then you could also get like 4 Tier 2 class alloys, and that's like, that had a 5,000 unit value back in November. Kabam have also reduced, they've given more volumes of 5-star relics into the side quest. Whether or not you like relics or not, I'm still not a massive fan of them, and I'm just not really kind of like vibing with them at the moment. Just because I just go, okay, what's the point? You know, Kabam don't make them too game breaking, but you could then go like, well, why did you put them in there in the first place? Just to make them more fun? I don't know. Any case, moving on. I'm kind of sticking with the same subject. Tier 6 basic fragments. The volume of that, the rank 4 6-star materials, has indeed gone up, which again is another kind of like great thing, but it does start devaluing very slowly the rank 4ing of a 6-star champion, because let's face it, everybody wants to be chasing a rank 5 champion, not really a rank 4. They will do rank 4s because, you know, rank 4s are still very powerful, but at the same time, adding more like resource means you can easily access them, the same way at some point you might be interested to rank up a 7-star from rank 1 to rank 2. And the same thing goes with, well, what did Kabam give out for free in the Gwemple Bauble Blowout? And you could get, I mean, look, here's some spend scenarios that I put out for that particular video, and I think I've got another one to kind of catch up on this particular subject. You could get yourself 2 Tier 3 alphas, and that was for free. That's a lot compared with what Kabam gave out in the past. But again, this is the point of, as more of these particular items become more regular in the economy, the game economy of MCOC, then you will see that the price of them, if something was, and again, the point of this video is to say that if something was 3,000 units, 10,000 units, like last year, it will now be worth 1,000 units and 5,000 units respectively. So we see the devaluation of these certain bits of resource within the eco space of the game. And I'm sure there'll probably be still people out there kind of wondering like, well, why do you need to make a video quite like this? And I just think, from my personal perspective, it's interesting. It's interesting to look at trends, but also it's interesting to look at what can be grabbed as a better deal. Like, do you honestly want to spend 18,000 units on 25% of a tier 6 class catalyst in, say, like now a deal comes out, or, you know, something was out in the gifting event, so banquet event. But instead of going like, I'll spend now, wait a few months, wait to go for those July 4th deals, spend then, don't spend then, just spend your free resource. But wait for those poignant moments, those July 4th deals, those times when the game is starting to go with a pattern of devaluing the resource. And depreciation means you could scoop up a better bargain and have more units still available for something else. As I said, the scenario is, do you want 25% of a tier 6 class catalyst, as an example, back in December, where you could get one fully formed as a selector in July 4th? Can you wait for that? And I think the answer is yes. Yes, you can. So that's really what I wanted to do with this video, is kind of dissect the whole kind of like thing that's kind of going on with depreciation at the moment, the higher volume of rewards Kabam are putting out, and also the changes in trends and patterns when it comes to deals. The bauble blower is a good example of a change in trend, a reduction in cost, a devaluation, a depreciation. And this is the point of going, if you are looking to spend, don't spend back, you know, this is the thing. I mean, here's the thing, you don't need to spend now on the bauble blowout. You didn't need to spend in the bauble blowout. If you were a spender, financial spender, you could get this better volume of stuff in July. The same token would be like if you're a free-to-play player going, hang on a minute, I want to spend my units that I've grinded out in Arena. Like, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to spend now? And you may say, well, look at it this way. I've got 18,000 units and the things that are there are not that substantial. I've already got a rank 5, 6 star. Do I just do this organically through side quests, wait until Cyber Weekend with a huge amount of units and get a large amount of stuff that's able to massively change my roster? And that particular thought process comes to you and you go, maybe I'll do that. Maybe there's a better offer coming up between July 4th deals and the future that you're kind of like, right, well, September there's a good deal that comes out. Maybe I'll use my units on that. And it's the thing. Just think about that for a moment before kind of like jumping into to kind of spending your money and spending your units on the value of these particular items in game. In any case, that's been a video. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a dissection type video. Check out some stuff that's on screen right now, some other content, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that will be. And are you going to be spending soon when it comes to your units from a free-to-play perspective, or are you going to be spending your money or holding off for the future? Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.